everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. Today we are gonna do a get ready with me, but the star of the show will be one of the new Suqqu spring eyeshadow quads. Today I'm gonna do the 101, which is, I believe, the limited edition, although maybe it's part of the regular one. I'm not sure. But today it's gonna be the 101, whether or not it's permanent or special edition, either way, it's beautiful. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna pull out some things from my collection to do the full look. We'll chat a little bit, talk a little bit about Suqqu, and then we'll get into what my thoughts are on the formula versus some of the other quads, eyeshadows that I've been trying lately. So if you're interested in seeing that, just stick around. Okay guys, let's pull my hair back. I will apologize again for my roots. They're likely to be bad for a little while. We are getting a huge nor'easter, so I'm not actually sure when I'm gonna be able to get into the salon. Who knows? So first, let's go in with foundation. This is the Dior Prestige foundation. I have this in 012, comes in this cushion compact. Open it like that. I actually really am enjoying this foundation. I think it's beautiful. I love the finish. I love the look. What I don't love, one, is the smell. It's very floral, and that's not a favorite of mine. And two, I've mentioned it comes in like 5 shades. This happens to be like the perfect shade for me, but you know, I'm not a fan of releases that don't take everyone's skin tone into consideration. And we'll be honest, like, who does? There's very few collections that actually have enough of, you know, a color range to really get everyone, but you absolutely know that 5 is not gonna cut it. So, but if you're interested in the foundation, I will say 2 things. One, it works extremely well on me. It gives a beautiful finish. 012 is the perfect shade for me, so if you have a similar skin tone, it's probably gonna work for you. It makes my skin feel better, look better. It's a great foundation. You know, just has a few drawbacks. So I'm gonna put on a little of the By Terry powder. This is the hyaluronic powder. I have mine in the translucent, the original, and then this one is in Rosy Light. And I just like to like pounce on a little bit. This is a big La Mer powder brush. I think it gives my skin a nice glow, but it also kind of, not mattifies, but smooths a little bit, like, you know, just the tiniest bit. I'm going to use the Chanel La Beiges powder in Sunset. This is technically not a bronzer, but I use it as such because I am so ridiculously pale that a deeper powder actually works really well for me. I love the Chanel powders. I think they are beautiful and they smooth out your skin. They, you know, look gorgeous on. They don't irritate my skin. And I have it in the La Beiges. I have in Sunset, which is this one, and then the other one that I have is like a good powder for my skin, which I've just forgotten the name of. Sunset and Sunrise, I don't remember. I'll put it down below. This is the Tom Ford bronzer brush that I use all the time. As I've mentioned in my other videos, this is the Fleur de Printemps Chanel. This is the spring line that just came out. This is the highlight blush. Really love this. I mentioned in my other videos that I am going to have a brush list in the description box. I'm using the Wayne Goss. I keep forgetting the name of this brush. Ashley bought me for this brush. I love this brush, Ashley, and I forget the name of it every time. Well, what will help me in the future is that I will have a list. So as I was saying, I'm gonna have a list of the brushes that I use most often in the description box, so that when you go down to look about, you know, the products that I've used, not only will the makeup that I used be there, but also there'll be a list of the brushes that I kind of go to most of the time. Will it have every brush that I use every time? Probably not, because I'm gonna make it kind of like a standardized list that is always in my description box. So it won't be specific to that video, but again, if there are particular brushes that you're interested in, just ask me and I'll certainly get back to you with, you know, what I've used. This is the Kyoto Red Ox brush I'm using for the blush today. This is a really soft brush, but the way it lays down color, I have to say, pigment, it's just beautiful. Does a great job. Because the way the brush feels, it feels so soft, you're like, oh, it's not gonna lay anything down, I'm not gonna get any pigment. That's not true at all. As you can see, it just works beautifully. But it's so soft, like it won't irritate the most sensitive of skin, because my skin is incredibly sensitive. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna take the Face One, just buff a little. Yeah, I wanted to go to the salon last week, but work is just too crazy, so I just didn't have time. And then I was like, oh, I'll go next week. And of course, we're gonna get 2 feet of snow. Who knows if I'll ever get out of my house again. I mean, it's New England. We'll get out of our house, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's just, it's craziness. Also to mention these earrings, I wore these in particular today because I noticed, because I was on off 5th. Why was I on off? Oh, I was on off 5th because they had the Leopard Sun Tom Ford quad that MJ, I believe it was MJ, recommended that I pick it up. And so after the Desert Fox video, so I was like, oh, and it was like 40% off. So I picked it up, and while I was there, I noticed they were having sales. And these earrings are on sale on off 5th for like a really good price. And I don't remember exactly what they are, but because I saw that they were on sale, I was like, oh, I'll wear them today. And I'll link them in the description box in case you guys are interested. All right, so let's get to the eye look, which is really why you guys are here. Okay, this is the 101. Really interesting color story with these cool shades and then these shades here. I really find this interesting. And I'm not absolutely sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do, well, let me swatch it for you first. The top left shade, the like very lavender light looking shade, is very much a topper shade. Okay, that's the color story. So this very light shade is very much a topper shade. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of use these as transitions and then put this on the eyelid. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see how it works. Might be a disaster, who knows? All right, let's go in with the Sonia G Classic Crease Brush. And I'll chat a little bit about Suqqu and some of the things that, some questions that have come up and I'll talk about Suqqu and some of the questions that have come up in my comment boxes. So first, I've gotten a lot of questions about Desert Fox versus Suqqu, and I have to say, if we're talking about 03, which is the only one that I've used on camera so far before this one, if you like a very, very warm and powdery look, like a very powdery feel, I would go with the Tom Ford. If you want something more complex, I would go with the Suqqu. The difference is the Tom Ford is very much a warm color story, and like that's it. It's beautiful, but you know, it's all over powdery, creamy mattes, and there's one little sparkle in there. The Suqqu 03 is more complicated. They're more creamy mattes and shimmers satins, actually, is the best way to say it. They're more satins, whereas the Tom Fords are more like powdery matte formula and then a shimmer. So if I had to pick, I mean, if I could only have one, that's really tough. If I could only have one, in that particular instance, I'd pick the Tom Ford, just because I really, really loved that color story on me. Like, that color story I really loved on me. The Suqqu is like, it's like 1 and 1A. They're both beautiful. I don't know which one is more expensive, because technically you can't get Suqqu here in the United States. So it's going to have to be shipped to you, whereas, and I'm assuming the shipping will be more depending on where you get it and whether or not you have a Selfridges Global. I have a Selfridges Global package, basically, so you pay $55 for the year, and then that's shipping for a year. And I buy so much from Selfridges that it's more than made up in like the first week of January. So it's fine. I'm gonna take the second shade, the more satiny shade, and I'm gonna go in with the Mini Booster Sonia G. So there is gonna be more shipping involved, and then of course, you know, depending on, there may be fees from getting it again. So they're both expensive is what I'm saying. I think the Tom Ford would be more expensive, because I think it's $88. So I think it's more. I mean, like, quite a bit more than the Suqqu. But I do love, me personally, I do love the Desert Fox. The 03 though in the Suqqu, guys, is really a beautiful, beautiful quad. And I can't say enough about the Suqqu formula. I mean, it's just, it's a beautiful formula. You can see every quint that I put on my arm yesterday, every quint that I put on my arm in the Suqqu video, it's a beautiful color story, and they all look really nice on the eye. I have to say, I am tempted to pick up more quads, even though I have 4 of them. I kind of want to get the rest of them. Now, I know the others are more like pinky stories, like color stories, and I'm not usually a pink person, but they look so pretty. And the formula is so nice. In fact, you should check out Lexi Zhang's channel and her Suqqu videos, because she has all of them. And, you know, she has a different complexion than I do. She's about as pale. Well, I think she's a little warmer than me. She has more of a neutral skin tone, but we're both very pale. She has different hair color and eye color and everything, but I think you might be interested in seeing the other palettes that she's reviewed. But so in regards to that question, that was a very long way of saying it'd be very tough for me to pick. I don't know. I really like the Desert Fox. I have to say, guys, I really do. It looked really, I thought it looked really nice on. It wore really well. I just really like it. But the Suqqu formula is pretty exceptional. All right, so now I'm gonna take this gray lavender shade and put it on the eye. We're gonna see how that works with the orange. This is not, I will admit, like a combination that I would generally do. It's not that like gray and orange don't look good together. They actually do look good together. And if you were like doing like a house, if you were putting, you know, colors together, I could definitely see that combination. I just don't necessarily see it for my eye, but you know, we're gonna try it. I think what most people will do, I could be wrong, but most people will play with the gray silver and mix it with the topper shade, and then, you know, use the 2 warmer shades by themselves, because not everyone will be up for using all the shades together. But it is my job here today to show you that that can work and how it works. Now, I chose to do it this way. I'm going back in with the 03. I chose to do the orange as the transition and then the gray silver on the eye. You could absolutely do it the other way around. You could do the gray and the transition and the orange on the eye, but I wanted to see how this would work. It's actually pretty. It's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with that gray after I blended, build it up a little. The thing about the Suqqu formula, which I really like, and like I've mentioned before, not everyone will love, is that these are buildable shades. They have pigment and you can absolutely build them up, but just remember, it's not gonna be like a duochrome kind of situation, or you know, like a very pigmented, this is the classic crease. What you have to do is build, and actually that's what one of the things I really like, because you can go in with a super light hand and have a wash of color, watercolor kind of thing, or you can build it up and make it a stronger look. I like that one because sometimes I do just want a wash of color, and I don't necessarily always want to do a really strong look with my makeup. I am one of those people who, I love a basic look. I love a neutral basic eye. I don't think that's a bad thing. And often for my job, that's what's appropriate for my job. I was emailing back and forth with Kelly from Keep Beauty Real in one of my videos about the rainbow look and that we did for Nailed It, and she was able to wear it to her office because what she does for her career, it's perfectly okay for her to wear that. Nobody would do anything to me, but it would be it would be an issue. It would be called out. It would be unusual. So, I'm gonna use this topper shade all over the eye. So that's the thing, like everybody has, a different comfort level for things. Some people are like, yeah, I could never wear that. And other people would be like, yeah, that's nothing. So it really does depend on what you like. But I would say Suqqu gives you the opportunity, depending on what you like, to make it a more pronounced look, or keep it super light and like watercolory, which I think is one of the geniuses of the formula. This is very much like an opalescent shade, this like pale shade. It's really pretty. It does work putting it on with your finger, but I also think it'll work with a brush. I'm going to use my only Morphe brush that I have, my inner corner brush, and use it as such. Yeah, it's just like really sparkly. You see that? In fact, I'll kind of just put a little sparkle up here. It's very much just like a sparkly shade. Let me use Wingos number 5. And let's use this gray shade underneath the eye, and then I'll pull in the more, it's like a terracotta shade. So of the formulas, I'd say if you're looking for like more of a wash of color, the ability to do a watercolor kind of look, Suqqu is definitely the first. They do that better than anyone I've seen. Let me show it to you again, just so you get the palette. And these have a 12-year shelf life, if I remember correctly. I think it's 12 year. Sure, 12 months. Which was 12 years. Yep, and this is Haragomo, maybe, but it's 101. Some mascara on. I'm gonna use the Chantecaille mascara because my eyelashes have been bugging me. I think I've been doing too many different looks, taking off too much mascara, putting on too many eye looks, off and on, so my eyes are a little irritated. And when that happens, the Chantecaille mascara is always the best for me to use. I don't always show you guys me putting on mascara, but I wanted to say that, again, if you're interested in like a wash of color, I really would recommend the Suqqu more than any other formula that's out there. If you want something that can go both ways, it can be a wash, it can be built up, I would do that. If you're interested in a more pigmented but still elegant quad, it's not really a quad, it's the Dior Quints. The new formula on those guys, they really are amazing. I have all of them. I will be doing a Dior ranking now that I have every Quint, and I will also do a Tom Ford ranking. It's hard for me to rank my eyeshadow Quints because, to be honest, for me, I always have like 3 or 4 that I just don't like, that I practically never use and should just really get rid of, but I don't, because I feel like with the channel, I'm like, well, people might ask me about it, so I should keep it. And then the rest, I'm all like, well, it depends on what look I'm going for, and I would rank them all at the top. So it's gonna be really hard for me to rank, but I will do it. And so I'll do a Tom Ford one and a Dior one. So I guess you'd ask me, well, if the Suqqu is the best for like a watercolor, plus if you want to build up, where would the Chanel and Tom Fords go? And I'd say the Tom Fords are some of my favorite quads, come from Tom Ford, but most of them are from a while back. The ones lately have not been favorites, except for the Desert Fox, which is brand new, which I love. And I'm gonna just keep talking about it. You guys are gonna be annoyed, I know, but I do. I love that color story on me. But it is a very powdery formula. It's smooth and it's very creamy, but it's not for everybody because it's not a wet dry. The Insolent Rose actually looks really pretty on the eye, but I feel like with all the pinks and roses and everything that have come out lately, I think you can dupe that one pretty easily with pretty much any of the Pat McGrath stuff that's come out. Her rose collection, you know, Rose Decadence, Divine Rose, etc. So I think all those shades would be in there, and the Natasha Denona. So I don't think you need that one. I think the Desert Fox is more unusual. And the Chanel eye quads, I haven't tried the Bouquet Ombre one yet, and I will be trying that. And the LeBlanc one is coming out. LeBlanc one is coming out next week, so I'll, you know, let you know. But lately, the Chanel ones have just kind of been like, they're nice, but I like the older Chanels better. Maybe that's just me because I'm old. Okay, so let's do a lip so you can see the finished look, and then I'll get close to the eye again. So I wanted to use one of the Suqqu products that's not new. It's their Vibrant Rich Lipstick. This is in 110, and I really like their lipsticks as well. I might pick up a couple of shades of those if I decide to pick up more quads, which I probably will, knowing me. This is one of the few lipsticks that I have. I have this and a couple of Chanel's that stay like a peach shade on me. A lot of times when I get shades that are peach or warmer shades, they go pink. Like, I don't know, something to do with my skin tone, obviously, but I really like the shade. And if you noticed, I didn't use a lip liner, but it still looks, it has a nice opacity. It covers the lips in one swatch. It feels very comfortable on the lips. The lip fogs are the same way, incredibly comfortable. And I'm just really impressed with that formula. If it wasn't for the fact that we're all wearing masks and no one gets to see it, I probably would have bought like the entire collection of lip fogs and the lipsticks because I really like them. This one is just, I really like the shade. So I think I will probably pick up more quads. And when I do that, I'll probably pick up more of the lipsticks because I really do like them. But maybe just like one, so I'm not going, you know, crazy, because again, they have a limited shelf life, everything does, and I'm not really wearing lipstick right now. Okay, so let me show you the eye look with the mascara on. And that's the 101. Now, guys, I am not going to be able to get all of these done by the 4th, which is when they go up at Cult Beauty and a couple other retailers whose names I've now forgotten. Cult Beauty sticks in my head because that's another one of the retailers that I tend to order from. So by the time the 4th is here, this will be up, which is the 101, and the 03 will be up. I might be able to get another one in, but I just, with my schedule, I don't think so. So what I would tell you is that the formula is the same between this one and the other one. Feels exactly the same. I don't notice a difference. So the formula is the same. Go with the color story that you like. The ones that I have picked, the 101 I just did, so you've seen it. You know what it looks like. The one that I did before was the 03. It's a very warm color story. Looks similar to Desert Fox, but it's more like a satiny feel. Then we have 02, which I would say is also a very warm look, but it's a little bit lighter. And if you refer to my other video, which I'll make sure I link at some point during this video, you can see all the swatches. And then 06, which has the olive green, brown, and like a gray. And then the other quads were cooler shades. They had ones that had like pinks in them. There is one, it's number 5, I think, that had greens, but it had a red in it. Anyway, so I would just go with the ones that you think are the color stories that you like best. None of them are going to be over pigmented, so you don't have to worry. Like, let me put it this way. There are some brands, although I love, that I hesitate to pick up a certain quad or blush because I don't like the color story, and I know that they're so pigmented that if I don't like it, there's no way to tone it down. These, you're not gonna have that problem. If the shade is a little too much for you, like the color you don't like, you just do it in a very sheer wash and it will be fine. You can pretty much wear anything if it's a sheer wash of it. So these are pretty foolproof. Seriously. What's especially foolproof are the blushes. The 124 and 125. I wore the 125 in the other video. I'll wear the 124 coming up because I'll do, you know, the other quads, and I'll make sure I wear that blush as well. They're foolproof. They're very light. They're elegant. They give a beautiful sheen to the skin. They don't accentuate any texture. I promise you, either blush you pick is gonna be fine. I am extremely pale, and on me it was ethereal. So, and I did one, like, I didn't build it at all. So you'll be fine with the blushes and the color stories on the eyes. Pick the one that is most appealing to you. If my understanding is correct, and these are gonna stick around, even if they sell out, they'll come back. So you don't have to buy them all at once. If you wanna get one, pick the one that you like. I really like the 03 so far. That's my favorite of the two. This is very pretty. And I think it's actually an interesting color story, but it's not my color story. I like the 03 the most of the two that I've tried. But I got 2 more to go, and I'm probably gonna pick up more. So, you know me. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have time and you're so inclined to subscribe and hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate that. It really helps my channel grow. And I appreciate all of the feedback and questions. Also, if you're interested, join me over on Instagram. I post a lot of things over there, swatches and such. And also I can respond better on Instagram generally than I can on YouTube because I get sort of like pop-up notifications on Instagram that I can respond to quickly while I'm still working. So if you're interested and you have a specific question, follow me over there. Okay, thanks again, guys. Hope to see you in another video really soon.